Hey everybody, so we are coming up on the Oscars really fast. There's about a week left, and I am not ready. There's kind of a lot of stuff to do, a lot of categories to go over, and a lot of these categories are really, really tight. They're really tricky to figure out. But we gotta get through it, and I don't know where some of these categories are gonna go. Some of them are just complete blanks, but we're gonna try and figure this out together. And today we're going to do Best Production Design, which is not an easy category, as you will see in a minute. So let's take a look here. Fifth most likely to win is First Man. So the reason why I ranked this movie last is because I don't see much from a production design perspective, in the sense that it's got spaceships and it's got 1960s sets, but it's all very subtle. And this kind of movie, it's definitely been nominated by the Academy in the past, but it's never won. No space movie has ever won this Oscar. Uh, Several have been nominated. Apollo 13 rather, was nominated. Uh, Gravity was nominated. The Martian was nominated. But space movies don't tend to win production design unless it's like a real big, elaborate thing, which this movie isn't. If they were like aliens and planets like Avatar, like that's not what First Man is. Like First Man is a grounded in reality movie, and the production design is definitely very good and very noteworthy. But when you compare it to some of the other nominees, it doesn't stand out too much, and it is very subtle. Plus, the film was not a Best Picture nominee. The film suffered in a lot of categories, and so I understand the nomination, but I can't imagine this film is going to have enough support to actually win the Oscar. So I ranked it last. Fourth most likely to win is Roma. So this nomination came out of nowhere, and the reason, it's the same thing I said for this film yesterday in sound editing. This movie feels very much like a documentary, and so it's hard to judge a lot of the work done in the technical aspects of it, like production design, even though a lot of work was done. Apparently, a lot of the sets were built on a studio backlot in America, which is surprising, because it does feel so authentic. But there's a chance that people will vote for this because the movie is so beloved and because it's probably going to win Best Picture. Because some people are just going to check off this movie in every category. And there's no denying that the movie looks beautiful. But a lot of that has to do with the cinematography and the contrast of the black and white photography. I think nothing in this movie looks like a set. It looks like they just filmed it at any random place, which helps, definitely. But I I don't know. I don't. This is not. It's not a very flashy film, and I feel that production designers are going to look elsewhere, even non-production designers, because the winners in this category, in all the categories, are voted by the entire Academy, not just people in the production design branch. So, even if people loved Roma, I think you'd be hard pressed to find that many people who would actively vote for it in this category, unless they really, really loved it. Which, to be fair, a lot of people clearly did. But I can't imagine it getting enough votes to win against this competition. Third most likely to win is Mary Poppins Returns. So, this is a movie that could contend maybe more in costume design than in this category, but there's no denying that the set design is very good. They really went to painstaking detail to recreate the phenomenal sets from the original 1964 movie, and also make some really creative sets of their own, like the scene with Topsy, Meryl Streep's character, is the primary example, but they also put a lot of work into the hand-drawn sequence, and the bank, the bits that had to feel more like traditional London worked, and they blended well. It's definitely a very good movie from a production design standpoint, but I don't know. I can't imagine that this actually is going to pull off a win. I just, mainly because the film is not a Best Picture nominee and has not done terribly well with nominations in general. But it could happen. Sometimes they like to go for the film with the most production design, and that's probably Mary Poppins Returns. If they want to go for the most colorful movie, it's probably Poppins. I feel that Poppins does make a strong case for itself, especially seeing how the first movie... I think the first movie lost to My Fair Lady. I'm not 100% sure, but some Academy members may feel that they want to reward this one as a makeup award. But I don't know how many people even remember that. Okay, yes, it lost. So I don't know. I don't know how they're going to feel about it. It is a sequel coming out many, many years after the original, so I doubt that too many people are going to care about that. But sometimes they like to give this award to the flashy movie with the best sets, like with Alice in Wonderland or with Sweeney Todd. And this does have the loudest sets or the most colorful sets, or these are the sets that call attention to themselves the most. But somehow I don't think I can see it winning, mainly because it didn't win any of the texts. But you never know. A surprise could still happen. Second most likely to win is The Favorite. Okay, so here's where things start to get tricky, because with the top two, you can probably toss a coin. The Favorite makes a very compelling argument for itself winning. The sets do look amazing. The sets do look like... And it's great because these type of British period pieces, in my personal opinion, tend to do better in costume design than production design, which is why I have a split happening. I envision this movie winning costumes and losing production design, but the reverse could also happen, or it could win both and lose both. It is tricky to figure this out. There's no denying the production and the design in the film is great and is in the top two, and it won the Period Award because at the Production Designers Guild, they split it into categories for period, contemporary, and fantasy, and this movie won Period. And it also won the BAFTA. But to be fair, Favorite won a lot of BAFTAs because that's their movie. That's the British movie of the year. And it's hard not to think that BAFTA is not at least a little bit biased when it comes to awarding very British movies. So, for that reason, the top two in this category both have a lot of the same stuff, and The Favorite does make a very compelling argument for itself, but at the end of the day, I feel like I'm gonna have to go with number one most likely to win, my predicted winner, is Black Panther. And the reason for that is that Black Panther, I feel, is the best combination. First of all, it won Art Directors Guild for fantasy, and it won Critics' Choice. So it has the same stuff that The Favorite won, but whereas I feel that The Favorite, those wins are more understandable because in regards to the BAFTA, of course they would give it to the British movie. They're biased. They gave everything to the Favorite. But I feel that there's more of a case to be made for Black Panther. A, because it's the kind of movie that really has to win something, and we don't know how much it's going to win. But also, from a production design perspective, it is a great film. And the image that I have chosen is of the bar scene, the party scene, which is a very good scene, but a lot of the film takes place in Wakanda, which is very, very well designed from a production design perspective, and it's very, very good world building, and every now and again they do like to branch out and give it to films that have more elaborate world building. I could still see The Favorite pulling off a win here, but Black Panther is a movie that stands out among the nominees, and also among the Marvel Cinematic Universe to an extent, because of how it looks. It is a very, very well-designed film, and the world is very, very well-designed, and people are going to remember everything about the design of Wakanda. And I feel that that is going to help this movie. It's a very, very well-liked film, and it's got to win at least one award. I already have it winning sound editing, but I think it's probably going to win here too. And who knows, it got enough support to win the SAG award for Best Ensemble. So I think it clearly has support as a movie. But in terms of this award, I feel that it's going to win, personally. I think there's going to be a split in production design and costume design. I think The Favorite is going to win costume design, and I think this is going to win production design. And it could go the other way around, or it could be all Black Panther or all The Favorite, or Mary Poppins could take one or both. It's legitimately tricky to figure these categories out, but my gut is telling me to go with Black Panther. I feel like the production design in that film is a bit too good to ignore, even if people will definitely vote for The Favorite. I feel that Black Panther is the true frontrunner in this category going forward. Alright, so that's my prediction. Tune in tomorrow for another one. We're getting closer and closer to the Oscars now, so this is getting pretty intense. And I'll see you later. Goodbye.